Starting to get there. Got the first layer of the floor on up to there. That's freshwater, gray water, and there's no black tank in. Now there's styrofoam to go in, and then another layer of wood on top to complete the floor. So now, originally there was blocks in these corners. There. Let's see, on these little outriggers to keep this trailer from shifting left, right, back and forward. But that was because the original floor was never attached to the trailer. So they had those cross members going across the aluminum, and then that blocked up against that piece of aluminum, and this one, which kept it from shifting left and right and back and forward. But with my design, because I had removed this chunk of floor and replaced it with 3/4 inch on the bottom here, in reality, this floor is connected to that 2x4, which is connected to that aluminum. So if I just bolt down this floor to that outrigger there, and then once I get to there, everything is attached to this frame. So this entire floor will be attached to the frame at those points, which should keep it from shifting in any direction, because if it's attached from the floor to the frame there and all those spots, and then the floor is attached to the 2x4s, the 2x4s are screwed to that aluminum, and the aluminum connects everything else, then this trailer should never move. So I think that's what I'm going to go do. I drilled that one. I'm going to go underneath, drill that one, that one, that one. And actually I did drill one there earlier, and here I actually have the floor attached to the frame already. And I might actually, I think I have some holes drilled under there in the frame, a couple. I might actually put a bolt there and there to actually attach the floor here. So then everything is just one solid unit. Then I eliminate the fact of putting in these blocks and creating less space for where I could put insulation, because that block is quite large. Ooh, I don't have to be that large. I don't even need any, really, after this. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and go do right now. So yeah, going underneath, I just drilled those holes. I'm going to go underneath there and I'll do a little video. But so there is tons of room behind these tanks to put some members in like this. And you would think it doesn't stiffen it up a lot, but when you glue underneath and you screw it in, even though it's 1.5 on the side, it actually adds a lot of stiffness to it. And you know, this is just the first layer, not including your other sections, which are going to bring all the rigidity to it. So I'm going to go underneath. I measured 35 1/4 as I did as I cut it. Took my urathane, because this was one of the ones I'd done before, and I just dabbed it into the end until it wouldn't soak up anymore. I dabbed it in, waited, dabbed it in, waited. So it's still wet, but whatever. I'm going to go in, wedge it in there. Well, put a big bead of glue on it first, your PL. Then I'm going to wedge it in and then drill up through it and secure it in there. That'll be done between 2 frames too, which is exactly 1.5 inches, so it'll slide right in. But I'll go under there and do it for the gray water and for the fresh water. I'm not going to do it for the black. I might do it for the black too, just because, you know, I will put a black in there sooner or later. But it will give more rigidity, and then I don't have to put these guys up top. This wouldn't have worked under there because of the tanks, but it's going to work over here, which will add a lot of that rigidity that I'm missing. And for some odd reason, this side's not bad. I don't know why, but you're going to have a lot of this space too taken up by your appliances right here. So you're not going to have a lot of action here anyway. Most action is happening as soon as you come in the door, both directions and down the middle. So this will be good here. So I'm underneath now. There's the back of the trailer, back left. There's that little outrigger. This is the other one. I drilled one hole there. Gonna drill another hole. There's originally only one, but where am I here? I'll drill one here. That's where I'll put another lag bolt. Now I got to go over to end of this gray water tank and slide up in here. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, I got the video on. So, we have about 1.5 inches there, and then I think I have 1.5 inches clearance here, and then back here. I was actually thinking of wedging it up here. Oh, I forgot about this little thing here. I needed to notch it so it slipped there. Or that little, I'll show you. I wanted to notch the end of it because it's on about 1/8 or so. So I could get it up flush and tight with this. And I was thinking of actually drilling a little hole in the back here and screwing it that way too, just to give it some rigidity. I don't know if it needs it or not. Probably not. A little overkill. But I got to go back up and take my go back up and take. Oh, where am I here? Take a little bit out the end. Just take 1/8 off right here. Back about 1 inch, so I could get that up nice and tight. So this is flush with the surface. Oh, and I forgot, got to get the 3/8 out so I could get that wood across the two things up there. I don't know if you can see it. But yeah, I got to get the wood across, so I got to have this drop so I could have the room to slide it across. I'm not going to be able to do this and film it. You'll see when it's done. So I got it in. Did have to, where's my hand? Did have to drop the tank though in order to slide the piece of wood over this one piece, because here's one end here, then this little piece which is the ledge for the side of the tank, and then it goes down, and then it's the ledge for the other side of the tank. So to get over this one ledge here, here's my hand, I had to drop the tank, so I just balanced it down, slid that wood in on an angle, and then slid it back, put the tank back up, screwed it in with the 3/8. Now I am just going to screw it in. Maybe you can see. Not sure if I could angle this up to get a little view. I just drilled the holes, I didn't screw it yet. Don't want to split anything. Where is he? Let's see. Try to suck it up good. If I see any gaps, I'm going to fill it in with glue so I don't get any moisture trapped up there. I put it back far enough that gives the tank some movement. I put them like every 8 inches, just a little extra oomph. that's the last one. Here we go. I see some spots. We're gonna get some glue in there. I don't know why I showed my breath because it's not even cold. It's like 5 or 6 degrees out. Let me flip you around. I'll show you a bit here. So, yeah, that's what it is. And then I got movement for the tank. And where the glue is not seeping out the side, I'm going to put a little extra just so no moisture gets trapped up in there. But I'm going to do that now. I got this guy hanging and drop on my face. And there we go. Kind of glued all the sides and stuff so nothing will get in. And then everywhere I have a screw, just shoved up some of that glue and did that. Keep moisture out, even though all of this is all the wood's treated on both sides, so yes, might as well keep as much moisture out as possible. Now the fun to go get this off my finger. Oh, there's the entry door. Where's my screws? Oh, they're there. So I'm a little way from the door. Well, the step has some stuff there too. Make sure I don't step on those screws right away. Oh, there's one. Yeah, it's it's surprising how much it's stiffened it up. Just for that. Yeah. You know what? And to just be hidden underneath. Perfect. That's how I want it. And just come up top and zip them. Oh, where am I going here? And just zip them down. That was it. Yep. Make sure you don't want to step on them. So yeah, did all of that. Screwed all those. Zipped them all off. Surprisingly nice and firm. So now once I get the rigid insulation down, rigid foam over there, glued, and then my top plywood glued, then screwed to all my center piece of lumber there, and the side lumber. Then I'm going to have another piece of lumber come out, go up there for once I frame around these wheel wells. She'll be good and solid. But yeah, barely, I can still feel a little bit, but you are spanning about 4 feet here, but it's actually stiffened it up a lot. So if you do have a soft floor, try to attack it from underneath. Like, I'm going to go for it. Why not? I'm going to do it right there where the water tank is. Stiffen it up a little bit. So I'm just continuing on with the framing. So I'm going to go across there, down here by the wheel well. I'm just going to screw it in place. Then later I could come underneath and drill it. Where I'm going to put my anchor bolts in those corners. Not going with the original design because this is going to be a little bit different. This whole floor is actually going to be connected to the frame via these lag bolts there and there all across, instead of those blocks of wood like originally was. So I'm just going to glue it and screw it, and then tomorrow I will drill it out once this glue sets up. Glue gun. There it is. I'll use the PL. Make sure not to get it in a hole. Put some tees up against this. I want a good bulk in there. Here's my screw, my drill, my drill. There is my drill. Drill. Where's those screws? Oh, these are only 1.5 inches too, but I think it'll go down far enough to grab. Good for now. This one, I think I'm gonna just, because I'm gonna continue this on later, but I got to get it installed now because my 8-foot mark goes right about here for my insulation. I want something to grab to, so I'm just gonna cut it a little bit longer. I marked it out, I'm almost following the frame here, but I want a little bit of room here so I can do some framing and box this in later. So I think I'm just going to cut it. It's going to be kind of I have a joint here, a joint here. I could always just go in the middle. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stay closer to the end here. I'm going to go. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go right up to the end of the joint. Same as the plywood. Yeah. Why not? I'm just going to put it there. Glue this all. Actually, on the inside, I want to put a good bead because I want that to be waterproof and squish out. I'll run my finger down it earlier after. I want that to squish out right there. So that'll be kind of open to the outside. These 1.5" screws are just going in to grip it and hold it in place a little bit. The screw glue is going to do all the work, most of it. Because I can't find my 2" screws, so I only got 1.5". I'll actually put a little bit more here. I want this joint to be good and screwed. I know the lumber's still straight, but this side I'm going to put towards the out, and I'll put some urathane on that later. I have room for it. You can't see it, but I got lines marked on the ground here to follow. So that'll go there. Is on the mark. Finger on that bead on the inside there. I don't know if it's squished out on this side. So once this dries, you don't want to. You just got to grind it. Afraid of the glue. Glue is your friend. Especially for anything that's going to be exposed. Glue it, fucking paint it, urathane it, do whatever. There. So now we'll have a sheet 8 feet. Go straight through here. That will be perfect. That should be roughly a little late to measure now, but let's see what I do. It's 11 1/4. Hard to judge from here, but yeah, approximately 11 1/4. Doesn't have to be perfect, but that's okay. Water tank, perfect. Gonna have to do the framing, box around this. Yeah. So I'm gonna do the same thing, except do it over on the other side. Might as well shut you off for that. So now, just trying to cut the styrofoam. There's a little lip because it's shipping. It's ship or whatever it's called, ship lap. So I cut that edge there straight so I can butt up against there. And now I'm just looking to cut the other spots. So I got to come in a foot. foot. So come in about a foot. And this will just be the first cut. We don't want to make it 11.5. 11.5. So a straight edge. Yeah, we don't want to make it straight. It's a straight edge-ish. It won't be perfect the first time. But yeah, so that's there. 11.5. Oh wait, where was I here? Up against the end. Play 60, 64.25. Just going to cut this one a little fat just so I have something to trim. I'm just using a thin little razor blade from I got this from Home Depot. Not sure if it'll work the best, but I got another little saw to use if it doesn't. That's going to work the greatest. So what else did I grab here? Where is that? Oh, I got this little guy. You can see it. Insulation saw. See if it works. Too thick. It's too thick, it grabs. So we'll go with the other one. I'll just do a few scores. Follow this little half. There we go. Oh, fuck, there's some glue. These ones are pretty much flush, but I gotta cut around. I gotta cut around my thingamabobs here, but we could just do this easily with this guy. build the foam later anyway. So whatever gaps we have, we'll fill with expanding foam. So this one I'm just doing it to get ballpark, and then I'll fine tune it once I. Something like that. Maybe I will try that saw again. Might work in this situation. Where did I put it? There it is. I'm going to try my jigsaw. Where is the battery? Battery. Oh, close. That'll work. That will work. Where is the other one? Yeah. I'll flip you around. So I'm working on the right-hand side of the trailer. I think the camera might be picking this up backwards, but let's see. I'll show you the cuts. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to be filling these up with spray foam anyway. So there's that cut. This is for your, this is a gray water tank. And there's my 8-foot length, so it took me right to here. This is fresh water. And there's no black water, but in the future, you just need a hole saw and then do a full thickness through all the plywoods. There's that. Now I'll flip in another piece here. And then that 1/2 inch area, that's where I'll take my pink stuff. It's a 1/2 inch thick. And I'll run it along that plywood right there. Or that 2x4. Same thing here, wherever's needed. As long as I know I'm butt in, and I got the same thickness insulation between the wall and the flooring, and I'm secure. Even if it's not exactly the same thickness, then at least I know I got a good seal. There's that. I might as well record this one too. Since it's shiplap, I just push this piece all the way in and then overlap it there. Now I'm just going to mark it at the corner. Where is this camera pointing? I'll mark it at the corner there. Up there, snap a chalk line because I didn't get this centerpiece perfect. And then I'll cut it with a knife. So I will take you through that process. Let's see. Where did I put my string line? There's the string line. Oh. This is my glue little testing station. Oh well, doesn't got any weight on it right now. Now I just gotta mark where the inside of that 2x4 is. Looks to be right about there. Chopping. I don't think I got any chopping here. Now, what I do have is a long 2x4. You probably hear me wheezing, it's just my asthma kind of acting up with sawing in here and all that other BS. Actually, I might just run the blade right on it while holding that. Oops. might wander off on you. Just be careful. You can feel that I'm going through. Oh god, I can't wait to have more room. Because I got all the bedroom in there, so that's why there's no room to do shit. This way. I can see that kind of shit flap. That looks like my my joints right there, the glue's popped up, so I'm gonna have to sand that down flat and smooth. And plus I'll have more glue, so it'll take away that squeak. There, 2 down. Not complete, but sizing them up, so putting on the flooring will be much easier. So really what I should do is take these out and put down a 4x8 sheet of my plywood right there, place them on top, and then trace out the holes that I marked. I think that's what I'll do. And I'm just looking at the sheeting. You got OSB. And you know what? I just don't like the way the OSB sits. I know if I go with the plywood 1/2 inch on top, it's a bit heavier, a bit more pricey, but it's not warped. OSB, it's hard to get a perfectly flat piece. And if you don't have proper joists everywhere to screw into, it's going to be lumpy. So the more I'm thinking about this, I don't think I'm going to go with the OSB. This is going to be loaded up into the truck, and I'm going to buy 1/2 inch plywood. It sits flatter. It'll be easier to screw into. I don't think I'm going to go 3/4 because I went 3/4 on the bottom. I want most of my structure to come from the bottom, and then you work up. So I got my 3/4 on the bottom, 2 inches of foam, and then I'll do a 1/2 inch on top of plywood. Yeah, I just don't like the OSB is good, but you need joists. You need lots of joists to put this in properly. If not, just the way it's glued and pressed and don't like the looks of it. Don't like the looks of it. might sit flat, but I don't know. I'll think about it, but I don't think I'm going to go with it. So I cut one piece just to test it, but I decided I'm going to go with 1/2 inch plywood. But the reason why I cut this one short here is because it's a joint. We have a joist where it runs across there. That's why these bottom ones, they went this way. And now the insulation and the plywood is going the opposite direction. And I'm trying to alternate joints, but this 8-foot piece will take me right there. The full sheet would have took me to about here, but I don't want to end up in an empty space. I want joints to be above joints. So half will rest on the steel frame on this side, and once I start a new one, the other half will rest on the steel frame that side, which will join the next one, which is going to be up there somewhere. But I don't know what I did. This measurement was supposed to go right to here. Because it's 82 inches from the back to here, the back to here, and for some reason I cut out too much in this corner. It's late. Well, not that late, but I'm getting tired. So, but I just don't like it squeaks. That's going to happen. I think it'll settle out after a while, like once this is done and once I have glue. If there's still squeaks, that's all right. But I don't like this 3/8. It's good, but you know what? I'm going to sacrifice, and I'm going to go with the 1/2 inch plywood. It's going to be a bit more expensive, a bit heavier, but you know what? Once I'm done, maybe I'll build everything out of fucking foam. I'll have a foam tables. I'll go super lightweight on the inside. But yeah, I don't want to cinch out on my structure, and that's my floor. I just don't, I don't like the way this sits. I'll think about it overnight, but pretty sure I'm going with the 1/2 inch. And I'll just keep this stuff and put it, because this is 1.5 inches and this is 2 inches. We have a 1/2 inch gap here. So I'll cut this stuff. It's actually 7/16, 3/8. And I'll put strips of it there. So then when I put my sheeting over the top of it, I can screw it down. And then this here is actually going to be my base for my pony wall too. I build around this. I'll have little framings here so I can build around it. I'll probably put, I don't know, across 2x4 across here, so I could tie in horizontally in case anybody ever puts any weight on it. It'll still be okay. But yeah, that's where I'm at for the night. I forgot to drill out the holes through the insulation there to get my wiring for my lights. But I'll do that tomorrow. It's time for me to shut her down. So just trying to, I actually replaced that side with plywood. Just cut out a piece of plywood and put it there. And this was just temporarily locked up. I slid one 8x2 piece there. And because it's shiplap, I need that edge cut off on this side. So I'm just slicing it off, and then I'm going to try to, actually, I'm going to have to build my framework out of there first too. So I'm just going to slice that little shiplap damage off. Using the little dollar from Home Depot. Works really easy. Nice thin made. do my framing here and here before I do this guy. So I'm just going to put this off to the side and get my little framing done like I did over there. I'll pause you. There, try it from a different angle. Just get my little framing over in this corner. Got my two pieces. Marked. Glue and screw. And first. I use there 2 inches. Inch and a half, 2.5. I got 1.5 inches. Two and a half inches. Where did I put a screwdriver? Tells you how much I'm prepared. That looks like it went a bit crooked. I got some lines marked for it. Probably should put another set of lines. Maybe I will put it this way. Just wondering which side I should put the wing. Probably keep it inside as much as I can. This too has been treated, this 2x4. So you're going to want to squish out of the glue too, because this side will be exposed to the elements a little bit. So I'd rather get a bit of squish out on that side first. So I'll be careful just how I put it down in order to get that. Just kind of place it in a way to control that squish out. Actually, I might use the 1.5 inch screws. Those are 2.5. I gotta go in quite a bit of an angle, and I'm just kind of guessing where I'm gripping. Pretty good guess, but I don't want to puncture underneath. So with the 1.5, I know I could countersink it quite a bit before. Well, I don't even know if I will puncture if I countersink it. I have to go 3/4 inch. Make sure I'm on the line, and I am. Just take your finger and run that bead on the inside. Make sure you wet the finger. If there's not enough there, get yourself some more glue. There. That's good. Now clean your hands up. So now try to figure out these cuts. This one, I already cut off this side. I left the shiplap here. I don't know if I should or not. It might be hard for me to tuck under it, to tell you the truth. We'll see. I have the shiplap here. measure these and cut. I think it would be perfect, but that's not the case. That is not the case. That tight. Did the shiplap the other way on that one. It was easier. Kind of screwed this one up. Unless, I don't think it matters which side goes up. It doesn't. So, I will do this. You want the shiplap to be that way. So that's how I can do it. And the other joint will sit there. Which means this one I did upside down too. So, have to go this way. Do that last time. I must have did that side first last time. No, this still works. I would just have to measure from this joint, this top, to that edge. This top, to that edge, 20 3/4. 20 3/4. Like 20 and a half. 20 and a half. 20 and a half there. Here, still 20 and a half, 20 and a half, perfect. Here, still 20 and a half, perfect. 20 and a half, 20 and a half, 20 and a half. And then cut that edge off actually. Do it right now. So I have shiplap at that edge also, and I'm going to have to take off get an accurate number. Where did I put my knife? Oh, there it is. Now we'll get pushed straight to about there. Means 64 and a half. 64 and a half. Four and a half. That comes in 12 inches. That should be the same, 12 inches. No. So I just need need a straight edge. Fuck that up. I fucked that up. No, that's right. That's in there. clean this up. Oh, my fucking back is killing me. This one I forgot too. I gotta cut that shiplap. Gotta take this one out and cut that shiplap section off. There. Whew. That's that. Now we will cut the plywood, fit over it. And on top of these, I think I'm gonna put 1/2 inch foam. Because the plywood, I'm putting the plywood right to the edge. So on top is going to go 1/2 inch foam. Then plywood. And in the gaps, spray foam. So I'm done my measurements. My little drawing. Then I put it on this guy. And I redid it again and put it on this guy. And checked my measurements over and over and over. So now I gotta cut that. And cut it out there. I'm actually cutting the back of this one off too because I want to keep that beam exposed. That's the beam that takes all the load. I want to kind of, I don't know if I'm going to put a unit, like a pole here just to support it, but it's not there for any other reason. I just want to see if this actually is buckling or if there's any ever a change in it. So this is a good thing I don't want to hide or bury. I want to keep that somewhere I could have access to that center point to see if I get any uplift there, because all my loads are over there and over there, so I don't want to hide it. And if you remember, this was hidden in a compartment in the past where you had your little doors. Not sure if I'm going to do that again, but we'll see. Yeah, time for me to cut this masterpiece out. Try to do this. Alright, so on this side. I forgot one measurement. Did I forget that measurement? Oh, no, 41.5. go see if it worked. That guy's in place. Not too shabby. There we go. So, mocked up. I said I left this one out because this one I'm going to have a full piece that comes to another joist over here somewhere. Don't want to end up in an empty space. That's what I'm trying at this step here. Not perfect cuts, but not bad. Those will be my pony walls in there. So now I gotta take it all out, clean the bottom up, make sure it's as flat as I could get it. I'm gonna fill this little gap here with a 1/2 inch of foam around there too, around the edges, around this edge, and then it's ready to glue it down. Screw it to perimeter there, screw it there, screw it there, screw it up the middle. Nothing really for me to screw it right here, but so I was going to overlap it, but I decided not to. I want to see that beam. But I could screw all the way through and go into the 3/4 inch below. Put a couple screws. So we got 1/2 inch, 2 inches, then 3/4 inch. So that's 3 1/4 inch. If I use 3-inch screws, I countersink them 1/4 inch. Or if I use 3-inch screws, I know I'm actually going in. I'll have a 1/4 inch left on the bottom if I go flush. Is that right? 2, 2 1/2, 3 1/4, 3-inch. Yeah, I'll sink it actually 1/2 inch if I stay flush into the bottom. So I'll be able to grip it in a few spots if I see it bubbling. Plus once it's all glued, I'll put all the layers in at once, glue them all, Then I'm going to wedge some uprights here against the ceiling. So I'll wedge uprights throughout to kind of hold it and snug it in place, and maybe also place some weight just to glue everything. And actually now, since I think about it, I'm going to grab my test guys. I was sitting overnight and record my next video to see which glue holds the best. This was the PL starting on the left. We'll see. Make sure I get them right. Actually, I'm trying to figure out a way to transfer those holes into the plywood. And what I'm going to do, actually, I don't know if it'll work. I'm going to just take some glue. I'm just going to put a small bead around these holes. Just a little bead, maybe 1/2 inch on the outside. Like that. For that one. That one, and that one's usually cut, but now I'm just going to put it back in place, squish it down, then take it off and look where the marks are, and then trace inside 1/2 inch inside the wet marks. That should be where my holes start. Piece of styrofoam. Trying to go down straight on it, so I get it in my final resting spot. Should be right there. That should be it. So now, when I lift it up, should leave a mark. I should be able to trace it out. I can cut it with the jigsaw. Cut it smaller than it is, and then go bigger. Should work. Let's see. Awesome. Check that out. I don't know if the camera picked up from there. Oh yeah. So now I'll just trace the inside and then cut them out. Yeah, perfect. I'm going to shut you off because I have to go outside to do that. Actually, I'm going to do it in here. I'm going to make holes with this zip disc. I have my battery in here. Do not. I got an extra one. There we go. So much. I'm trying not to step on the spots where I don't have any structure, it just continually weakens it. So we'll just put that one here. Be close. gotta drill a hole. My drill bits. I just got some insulation and stuff stacked over there. I don't want to get that glue all over my gun. Or my tool. Then I might have to, and then just clean it off. Hopefully they're pretty close. Ooh, look at a mess. Gross. sawdust and glue. That'll be fun to get off. I'll do that after. Let's check this out. Perfect. Show you close up. Oh, I flip you. There you go. There we go. Enough to get in there and put my plumbing in for my gray water tank. Perfection. Now I gotta go underneath, drill my holes up for my outriggers. There. And the only way to get that one is I believe I gotta open the stairs and go up, because I want to physically attach all of this floor to the frame, and that way I'll do it, and then I'll have lag bolts. But I need lag bolts that are going to be 2 inches, 2.5, 3 1/4, and at least 3.5 inch lag bolts. And the ones I have, I think they're just a little over 3.5. So I got to find the same diameter, but a little bit longer. Then I could go all the way through and connect all this floor to the frame. And then this floor is connected to that underlying 2x3 that I have screwed to that aluminum channel there, which is your upper body. So then everything is connected as one. So I'm going to glue this down a different day. It's getting a little late and I'm tired. So what I want to do is I brought my wiring up through. You've seen some previous videos I made making sense of all of this, how it all works. Double, triple tricked it. If anybody needs copies of this, I made like a PDF. Little, if you ever run into this type of wiring. Got it all connected with Marantz. Everything's where it's supposed to be. I'm going to go underneath, go up to the front again, just do another double quick check to what I did. Then I'm going to go outside and plug it in and see if I could light everything up without tripping fuses in my rental truck.